Hi everyone, NightDiver5 here, and in this video I'm going to go over what I call the American Arab Spring. And this video is going to have a lot of different information. It was a little difficult to organize, so just kind of bear with me. I'm going to go through a whole bunch of different ideas, but I will tie them back in at the end. First, I want to start with Edward Snowden, and I will say that I have not believed that he's for real from day one. I'm not going to go into all the different things as far as proving it. I'm not going to bring up articles and that type of thing. But if you look at how it was handled from the time he was in China to the time he was in Russia, nothing adds up. His position doesn't add up for his amount of training. His pay doesn't add up. Nothing about this guy adds up. So I believe he's a plant, and I'll show you why. But I basically call him Timothy McVeigh 2.0. You know, he's a face that they, meaning the Illuminati or CIA, however you want to call them, think that the U.S. would trust. And they have, for the most part. It seems to me that the alternative media that pretty much questions everything have swallowed this one hook, line, and sinker. And the first concept I want to bring up is what's called a SCIF. It is a secured, compartmentalized information facility. When you're in intelligence, you work in a SCIF, and you are only given access to the information that you need for your job. That's it. No one has total access to any one program just to stop something like this from happening. But we have Snowden coming out saying, well, he's got information on NASA. He's got information from NSA. That doesn't add up. One individual working for a contractor is not going to have total access to one program. He's definitely not going to have total access to multiple programs. And I haven't done any research on this, but I would bet if anyone actually did, they would find that some of these programs he's talking about probably aren't even held by the same contractor, and if they are, they're probably not held at the same facility. So I don't believe that there's any way that this guy has the information that he says he does, or at least not the way he got it. And I'll show you why I think he's bringing out this information, or why they are having him bring out this information. In the last 6, 8, 12 months, we've had a number of scandals, right? And again, this is just off the top of my head. I'm not trying to make an exhaustive list of all this. I'm simply bringing examples forward. So we had the NSA data collection leak, a la Snowden. We have the IRS not giving Tea Party and other conservative groups their tax-exempt status. We have wiretapping for the AP News. We have Benghazi. We have the Bin Laden killing, which obviously was not Bin Laden, and he's been dead since 2002. We have SEAL Team 6 being killed in the helicopter accident. Total crap there. And Obamacare webpage, now a $1 billion webpage that doesn't work. Okay, are these really scandals? Next, we have the government shutdown, where we saw total vitriol from our government in the way that they treated the people. Closing national parks, which take almost no funds, turning off web pages that were really not turned off, you just weren't allowed to have access to them, halting VA benefits, and trying to close the ocean off Florida to fishing. I mean, total crap. This is just beating people up. This is purposeful hatred of our government towards the people. These are not people trying to do the right thing that are bungling. These are people that hate the American people and want to bring them down. Most of you understand that. Here's another example. We have Alamo Heights basketball fans reprimanded after USA chant. So you can't say USA because that might be racist. And in Common Core, there was an assignment recently that removed 2 amendments from the Bill of Rights. So what does all this have in common? Because they all have something in common, in my view. That's where I'm getting to. And this is what I call the American Arab Spring. Now, the Arab Spring was back in the spring of 2011, and something like 17 Arab nations overturned their governments. But of course, those were all CIA operations. So what is happening now here in the US? I call it the American Arab Spring. What they're going to do, we know they want to tear down the US, but they're not going to come in with nerve gas, not right away. They're not going to come in with foreign troops, not right away. They're going to use Americans to tear down America. But what do they need to do first? They need to disenfranchise the population. So how do you do that? How do you tear apart a nation? Well, you do it through multiculturalism. You destroy the money, remove the industry, you promote immorality, fluorides, poisonous vaccines, you could add chemtrails to that. So all of this is an attack on the people. You get them feeling down, you get them sick, you make them lose faith in the system. Okay, once that happens, then they're willing to revolt at a certain point. So another thing I want to bring up, was Obama really making international blunders? Was America's image tainted due to his ineptness? Well, America's image may have been tainted, but I think everything he did was intentional. I don't think anything with the government shutdown or Syria or anything else you can imagine that he's done in the last couple months that seemed to have been like, man, this guy just doesn't know what he's doing. We just picked the wrong person. No, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's getting done his job, just like Bush's job was 9/11 and getting us into those illegal wars in Iraq and Afghanistan. Obama is doing exactly what he's supposed to. Now let's move on to Putin. Why is Putin saying things we think an American president would say? I've heard him say that Christianity is the core strength of Russia, and he's coming out with these pictures where he's hunting and he's the manly man, and we've got Obama on a girl's bike looking just as gay as he can. There's a reason for this. Remember when FEMA signed a cooperation agreement with EMERCOM? That happened around on June 25th, 2013. Did anyone happen to notice EMERCOM's logo? I went on their webpage, and one of the links goes right to an explanation of their logo, and I'll have that link below. Here's their logo. Let's take a look at it. At the very top, you have the ball sun cross, which is also on all the Pope's robes, because that is actually sun worship. Then you have a crown. Then you have a double-headed eagle. Now that white star is illumination. Illumination is Satan worship, and the illumination can be portrayed in several different ways. This is a star. It can also be rays of light, like behind the all-seeing eye on the dollar, or it can be a round disc, like in Catholic art. That is not a halo, that is the sun behind the people's heads. And there's more variations to all those, of course, but this is illumination, as in Illuminati, because they worship Satan as an angel of light, which is 2 Corinthians 11:14. Now we also see a pyramid, and he's clutching tools, which I have not looked into what the tools are. But this is what's interesting. You might recognize this as the cover of Morals and Dogma, and what do we see? We have the illumination, we have the pyramid, we have the ball sun cross, we have the crown, we have a double-headed eagle, and this one is also clutching a tool. What I'm trying to show here is that they are both connected. And I believe that Putin's job is to confuse Americans. And I've even heard people say Putin should run for president. But at least we would have a president, because we don't have one right now. Actually, Putin doesn't qualify either. So Obama and Putin are getting coordinated orders to do and say exactly what we see them doing. And they are each getting their orders through their own arms of their own Illuminati chapters from the Vatican, which runs the world. And I'm not going to get into that in this video. Research it or watch some other of my videos. But the Vatican runs the world. So all of those things that I pointed out, all those examples, this is about destroying our identity and making us lose faith in the U.S. Eventually, it will push us into a violent reaction, and then they can do what they've always wanted to do, which is bring us under martial law. That's what I think all those things above in common have. So going back to Snowden, again, I don't think he's this great patriot. You think the CIA couldn't nab him or poison him at any time they wanted? You think Russia really wants to protect Snowden and they can thumb their nose at America? No, they're all working on the same side. The world divisions are false. They are meant to keep us busy. Anyway, so this is what I call the American Arab Spring. Basically, at some point, they will push us into a corner until we have to react, and then they'll have the reasoning to bring in martial law. So yes, we must resist, but we've got to resist very carefully. That's all I got for you. Thank you.